MyphpAmdin. We're going to start our Android web connectivity. This is a type of application which will be actually working three different levels at the three different parts. What we have to cover here, we will cover the Android web activity, connectivity. We will cover these things by using the website using PHP, connectivity with the MySQL database, web using web server Apache web server-side scripting using the PHP, and Android application, which will be the part 1, which will be more elaborated on the next slide, that what are the parts, part 1, part 2 and part 3. So this is actually the main part of the application. We divide this application into different parts. First of all, with the first part, we will go to cover the configuration of the web server and PHP MyAdmin configuration, and to create the database and the different tables using the MySQL. And then in the second, also in the first part, we also cover the connectivity with the MySQL database using the PHP script. We will write the three script where we need to register, initiate and register the data using the PHP script, and also we will try to log in with the database using the PHP script. Then in the part 2, that will be the separate part, that will be the separate recording after this. This will cover the Android application to connect with the same created database what we created in the part 1. And with the part 3, we will go to login or retrieve the data from the MySQL data to see how to retrieve the data using the mobile application. So these are the three parts. Here we are going to start our part 1, which is the web server configuration and MySQL connection using the PHP. Actually, our target is that we need to reach, our final goal is that we need to connect the web-based database with the mobile application using the PHP script and using the mobile Android application. So whatever our database will be, that will be created on the PHP MyAdmin side and using the MySQL database, and then we need to connect it using the Android application. We can say, in other words, that we will use the Android application as an interface while the database will reside on the web-based system. So this is our final destination. We will go for the final demo at the end. We just try to see what is our final destination. So we can see from the demo at the moment right now, this is the login screen, and we are just going to register now. Here is the registration. So we are saying that the name is KFU and the username is also KFU1, and the password is KFU123, quite simple. And we are going to say register. We are receiving a message that the registration is successful, and then we are going back to the login screen. So we are just trying to check about the data, that what we have done is that registered or not. So just a minute here. This is our we need to open here. Yes, just for a minute. We need to open the localhost. Yes, and then we're just going for the PHP MyAdmin, just to see that what the user was created, it is there or not. So this is our web database, and this is our user information table. And yes, the name is the KFU, and the username is the KFU1, and the password is KFU123, what we had created now. So we are now is trying to access our account. So username is KFU1, and if you remember, the password is KFU and 123. So just log in. Yes, that's right, login information, and login successful. welcome to the cave view. The cave view is actually the name of the user. So in other words, this is actually our destination. We're just going to close this at the moment because we are going to cover right at the moment only the first part, and this is the application. We will discuss in part 2 and part 3 when we reach here. For the moment we are just going to close this one and coming back again to our PowerPoint presentation. Now first of all, you need to configure your web server. For the web server, you need to visit the website, which is the www.webserver.com, and you will find the web server there. You need to configure, before you need to configure, install or download, you need to check about your operating system, that your operating system is 32-bit or 64-bit. As per your operating system requirement, please just go and install. So once you install the web server, you will find out the logo in your system tray, which will be same like shown here, and it should be in the green color. Now possibly there is a problem in case if suppose you are using already another server which is to be known as the IIS server. So in that case, you will possibly, while you will write the local host, you will find this page. This is for the IIS server, and if you are using the ASP.NET ASP.NET, then in that case possibly this will be there. So now the question is, if this is there, so you need to reconfigure and you need to uninstall this, or then you will be able to install your Apache. This is something doesn't suit for your use. Possibly you are required to use both of them at the same time. So there is another solution that you can run both of them together. So you need to just go, you can find it here. After, you can see from the tray here, you just click to the web server and then just go to the Apache, and in the Apache you just need to open http d.config file. Now once you open the config file, you will need to read these listen ports. So by default, while you are using the IIS, so this is actually working on the port 80. So now you just count here and you just change the port from 80 to 8080. So you can see also these 3 ports are changed. So configure these 3 ports and save the file, and again restart the services of your, from here you just click to this one and say restart all the services. So once you restart all the services, then you will be able to see in the local host, you will write localhost, you will find this page. But now you will not require to write only the local host, but you need to write the local host and then colon and 8080, the port what you specified just few minutes before. And I can show it to you here. You just need to write localhost 8080. Okay, you can find out here. It's localhost 8080, and then just press the enter, and then you will be able to see this page. So once you find this page, it means now your web server is configured properly, and now it's working properly. Then after that, you need to open MyphpAmdin. This is the link, follow to my mouse pointer. Now once you open this one, you will be able to reach here, and then this is the database what we created. This is MyphpAmdin, and you can create the database and the tables using the graphical user interface. Like suppose you can create the database from here. You can give the name of the database here, and then you need to click to the create, so the database will be created. In the same way, you can create the tables also in using GUI mode. You will see it through the presentation also. So once it's done, and as we discussed now, so once you click to the MyphpAmdin, by default its username is the root, and by default there is no password for this. Its password is blank, so no need for the password at the moment. You just click to the go button, and then you will be reached to this screen as we described a little earlier. While you're reaching to this slide at this moment, so you just create your database, and once you create your database, for this application you need to create your table. And for creating a table, here you can see that we are creating a table with the name of the user info, and then we are creating the 3 columns, and they have the name. The first column have the title as a name, then the username and the user pass. And please provide the type for all these 3 columns as a text. In the same way, you can see from here that this is the web app database what we are creating. So you just say to create a database, and then you can find from this screen that your web app database is created. Now we're creating here the table. You can find from here, this is actually the name of the column, another column's name, username, and another column name, this is the user pass. So once you done with this one and providing the type, text, and then you just say the save, and after saying the save, you will be able to see your table is created. Like you can see from here, this is your table is created, and your table is blank at the moment. And this is your table. You can find out your table details from here. Now with this case, actually we need to test through the PHP scripts. For the PHP script, you need to go to the www, or we call it as a root folder for the web server. So there are the 2 ways. Either you just try to find out where is the root folder from your computer, or the simplest way is that you just click to your web server. This is your web server, and then you just find out the www directory. So you just click to the www directory, then you will be reaching here, and within this directory you need to create your own folder, separate folder, which is the web app. You can find it here. This is the web app folder, and just click to the web app folder, and inside the web app folder you can create the different kind of the scripts. So we will discuss about the scripts, which we place it inside another folder, which is the part 1. So you can see that these 3 are the scripts. We will discuss about these scripts one by one in the presentation. The first script is to initialize .php or init.php. Another one is register.php, and the third one is known as the login.php. Sorry, just going back to the presentation. You can find out here that we need to define the 3 different scripts. That's what we mentioned here again. And this is the first one, which is the for the initialization, which will establish the connection with the MySQL database. Then the register.php, which will be used to insert the data in your MySQL, and then the login.php, that will be used to retrieve the data back from the MySQL. So this is the test run using the PHP script, and lately we will use these scripts also while we will design the part 2 and part 3 for the registration and for the login through the Android application. So you can find out here that this is the first script out of these 3 scripts. Here we mentioned that we need 3 scripts, number 1, number 2, and number 3. So this is the first script. You can see from here, this is the init or init.php. You can edit it, you can write it in the notepad, there's no issue. You can find out here that I hope that you're aware about the PHP script, that how to write. So this is the tag we open for the PHP. So the first one is you are providing the DB name. The DB name is the web app DB. That's what we created just a few minutes. You created a few minutes before. If you just have a look for this, you can find out here that this is your actually DB, and this is inside this one is user information, the short of information info. This is your table. So this is the DB name is web app DB or whatever the database you are going to design, and this is your SQL user. You remember that once you install the web server, so you need to connect using the user and the password. So the MySQL user is the root at the moment, and the password is the blank. That's what we discussed a couple of minutes before. And this is the server. You will access it as a local host. So your server is as a local host. Now the further details for this script is very simple. You're just going to create a connection, and this is mysqli.connect, so one variable, you are providing these parameters. You need to provide the server name, you need to provide the username, you need to provide the password, and you need to provide the database name. So here we are just putting the if and else condition. So we're saying that if the connection is not created, and these parameters are we provided all here, if the connection is not created, then MySQL connect error will be displayed, and in case if the connection is created, then we will receive a message that the connection successfully done for the map class, and this is our message for the map class of KView CCS ID. So this is for the init.php. So now we're just going to try to check that this script is working or not. You notice that this script is already placed in the part 1 folder. This is what we already defined, that this is in the www and web app and part 1. So we are going here and we are just trying to check this one. We're saying that the localhost, we are saying that the localhost 8080, and we're coming back and we are saying that the part this is we are saying that this is the web app, this is the folder what we created in www folder. Then we are saying part 1, that is another subfolder what we created, and then init .php. Just call this one, and you will see that what it's saying is saying that the connection successfully done for the map class of CCS ID. So this is done for this part of the first script. Now we're going to see about the registration part. So you can find out here while you're writing this URL, so you will find the connection successfully done for the map class for the KView CCS ID. And we are talking about the level part. Keep remember that there are the 2 other levels also. And here we are mentioning that these things are only the primary for the primary check for at the moment, and then later they will be changed inshallah after testing will be completed. Sorry. Now we are approaching to the second script. This script is actually for register. For the register, this will provide you the facility to insert your data inside the database. Sorry. So you can find that this is a script, and it's better we just go to open the script which we are going to use, and this is slightly changed from this one. So you just open the register, open with, you can say the open with search, and you may choose the notepad. This is the notepad, and it is here. So this is the PHP tag, and here we are saying this it's required initialize .php. So for sure it will be required before, and here we are defining, giving the name as a Noor Saman, and the username as a Noor, and the user pass is as a Noor123, and the rest is the same because these things we are providing now. So with this line, the first line required init.php, we are creating a connection. That's what we just tested. So now database is open, and now these are the values we are just going to store. So you can see from here the SQL query insert into, this is your table name, user info, and the values are what? This is the name, username, and the user pass. So you remember that you created the table, it contains the 3 columns. So the column number 1, this is the column number 1, and the column number 2, and the column number 3. Again we are providing here the if and else condition, and we are saying that in case if our data is successfully entered, so please here is a message, data has been inserted successfully, or in other case there is an error, so we call the MySQL error. So we can close this one, and we just now go to try for the register. And before going to register this data, just come here. We may check here about already the localhost. It's open. You can see this in the table. We can refresh this once we just refresh, and you will find that right at the moment this is only the one data is entered, KView, KView1, and KView1, 2, 3. So now we're going to use this one. Rather to use the init, we're just going to change this script with the name of the register. So here is the register, register.php. Just press the enter. So you will find here what it is: the connection successfully done for the map class of KFU CCSIT. This message is coming from our first script, and from the second script we are receiving this message: the data has been inserted successfully. Now we need to check that either our data is inserted or not. So please come here and see. We just refresh this table and you can find out that yes, this is the data, Noor Zaman, and username is Noor, and the user pass is the Noor123. So Alhamdulillah, this second task is also done. Now we're going back to our third script, where the third script, what we are trying to say, and here with the presentation he is also showing us that once your data is successfully entered, so you can be able to see in the database, in the MySQL, that your data is inserted or not. So we are moving to the third script. The third script is actually for the login, and this is the script for the third step. It is better again we just go to the real script, but we are using in our application. Just go to the login, and again just open it using the notepad. You can find out here that this is the login.php, and again we need the required init.php here. So this is the user. You remember that you just register the user, where the user details are, the username is the Noor and the user password is Noor123. Now here we are just running a query and saying select name from the user table. This is the table, and this is the query. Just go to the table and just try to check from the table that the username and the password are the same what we are providing here. In case if it is the same, and the returning result is coming which is greater than the 0, so what we are doing here with the script, we are trying to get the data, fetching the data, associating data with the result based on the name, and then the message, we are printing a message that the login is successful, and we are saying welcome, and then the name, this is actually the username. Whatever the username, so you will be welcome there. We can see it in a couple of minutes, and in case if the login is wrong, then in that case we will receive the message that the login is failed, no user details are available in the database. So just be with me. I'm just going to check this script. So this is our file here. Now rather to use the register, we need to replace it with the login and say enter, and you can find here Alhamdulillah it's saying that the connection successfully done for the map class for the KFU Society. This is coming from the first script, and this is from our login script. It is saying that the login successful, welcome Noor Zaman. Noor Zaman is the username, if you remember. So you just go back and see from here. So Noor Zaman is the name, username, nickname for the user, and the username was the Noor, and the password is actually Noor123. So you can find these details here. That is means greeting, saying login successful, and also greeting to the user. So coming back to our slides, it's almost done. You can see here, this is also we're trying to show the same message, and then after that this is the demo. The demo, we try to run the demo one by one. So you find that this is the part 1. We can say that this is the part 1, it's done. That's what we cover with this lecture. With this lecture, this is actually designed especially for the College of Computer Science and Information Technology, King Faisal University. Our goal is that we need to cover all the steps one by one, and this is the first part. That's what we started, and in this part we cover these things, how to configure our web server, and then we need to finish using the PHP scripts. So Alhamdulillah, these things are done, and thank you for watching, and we will go for the next 2 episodes. The second episode will cover registration, inserting the data using the Android application, and the part 3 we will continue by retrieving data using the MySQL. I hope that my students will enjoy this, and this is something which will help them, because once they are able to design any kind of the database using the SQL, using even the GUI part, so they can create any kind of database and the multiple tables and relations and everything. And what you need here, that you only need to design the interface, and you can interact with the database once you will learn the part 2 and part 3. So then you will feel more comfortable and more relaxed, and you can handle any kind of database. Thank you very much. Hope to see you soon.